Hello everyone, I'd like to thank you for joining us today. In this ceremony, we'll be honoring the graduating seniors as we missed having a traditional induction last year. We will also be recognizing the incoming group of juniors who will be filling our shoes in the fall. This year has been really tough in many ways, but despite this, I think our seniors have done a great job given the circumstances. I'd also like to give a big thanks to Ms. Teixeira, who has done an amazing job helping the officers run successful meetings and events. This is also her first time advising National Honor Society, so thank you very much for that. Now, the officers are going to talk about the 4 pillars of our National Honor Society, which are scholarship, service, leadership, and character. Our Vice President, Sarah Hodgson, will start off by talking about service.
Good afternoon, my fellow National Honor Society members and new inductees. Congratulations on your newfound role and distinction as National Honor Society members. In the last year, many people have struggled with different obstacles due to the pandemic. During this time, I made a promise to myself to continue to serve and give back to my community, like I had done before COVID. The reason I did this is simple. Helping others has a positive effect on not only myself, but the people you devote your time to, and the people around them who witness the impact of your service. Service to me is more than a policy topic. I work to help others for the greater good. Often, our society is divided on many topics, but something that unites us is giving our time to those in need. Of the 4 tenets of National Honor Society, service by far has the largest impact on others and yourself. Service is the act of helping or doing work for someone. To me, service is putting others before yourself and helping them without the goal of personal gain. Service has played a large role in my life for the past 4 years. For example, working with the Miracle League is an activity that brings enormous joy and has a large impact on my life. This organization helps to strive help children with disabilities learn confidence in themselves and allows them to learn new activities. My Sundays throughout the year are spent with my brother coaching 40 to 50 adorable boys and girls the basics of many different sports. At least we try to teach them. Our games usually end up with all of them running around. Small acts of service like beach cleanups help the environment and sea life while providing a clean area for people to walk and play. Another service activity that I participated in the past year was local food drives and toy drives, providing gifts for children to open during the holiday season and collecting food for the Gemma E. Moran United Way Food Bank. This food was then distributed to those in our local community and neighboring towns. The many different service activities I have been involved in have played a large role in helping my community and the people in the community. These different activities have impacted my life in many ways and have helped me grow as a person. Having the chance to create bonds of trust with children who are genuine and caring brings me much happiness. These interactions allow me to spread positivity and encourage them to believe in themselves. Through the Miracle League, I am able to help provide opportunities that are inclusive and accepting to all participants. Service has not only a big impact on your own life, but a bigger impact on others. Pursuing service not only feeds your soul, but has a large impact on others and the community. I urge my fellow members and new members to continue your diligence, serving your community and others. Big or small, acts of service reach farther than you think and can change lives for the better. Thank you.
Our Secretary, Alexa Torres. Never mind, who's going? Okay, our Treasurer, Alexa Torres, will be talking about our scholarship.
Good afternoon. First, I want to recognize our new members on their achievements on the realms of community service, leadership, character, and scholarship. I congratulate each one of you, not simply because you're joining us, but because of the actions that led you to sit with us today. Now, I want to talk to you about my own personal experience with scholarship. If you asked me what scholarship meant for me a year ago, I would simply say it was checking off boxes in my to-do list, memorizing flashcards, and crossing days on my calendar. It would mean countless nights of prioritizing my work. After all, I still had my senior year to enjoy the other aspects of my life. When the lockdown occurred, I was forced to slow down for the first time. The workload of school decreased, extracurriculars were canceled, and I was finally able to see my family outside of the dinner table. The preoccupations no longer took priority, and the empty planner allowed me time to reflect upon the way I was living my life. Well, correction, not living my life. The pandemic taught me the true uncertainty of life. All those ones that I looked forward to, the ones that I was sure to experience, were taken away in a matter of days. However, like any good scholar, I analyzed and drew a conclusion. This situation was essential for my growth as a person. I began to prioritize my life, living my life rather than going through the motions. I began to do things that I always put aside for someday, with gratitude for finally having the time to do them. And I learned to apply my knowledge. I applied the chemical reactions between sodium bicarbonate and hydrogen in the kitchen by baking brownies. I had Socratic seminars with my parents and talked about current events, and I even found myself converting miles into meters and calculating my splits for track workouts. As Anthony Douglas Williams once said, knowledge comes from learning, but wisdom comes from living. Scholarship is more than just a number. It is more than a GPA or earning an A, or even crossing off items in your to-do list like I did. It's not about being the most skilled or the most intellectual person. It is a profound, lifelong love for learning, and it is a habit. But most importantly, it is the application of knowledge into the world around you. It creates a life full of abundant opportunities. I hope that each one of you is disciplined enough to apply scholarship into your life and strive to become a well-educated individual, ready to initiate a positive change in the world. Thank you. So now Tucker, our actual secretary, is going to talk.
I'm going to be talking about character. All right. So while being selected to be members of the National Honor Society, one of the aspects of our lives was our character that was assessed. Through the application process, we had to pick groups and activities that we were a part of to help show who we were as a person. According to Webster's dictionary, one's character is attributes or features that make up and distinguish an individual. In other terms, that's how we are perceived by others and how we act. Throughout my years at Easton High School, I've been able to create a more personal connection to the work. I have found that a person's character is what helps him volunteer to rake leaves for the Senate. It's what makes him a leader on the sports field. It's what makes him volunteer to do the Orange Pass during Spirit Week. I've found that having good character can stem from many things. It is what differentiates us from everyone else. It is how we act when no one's watching. Our character will forever be something special to each and every one of us. It will continue to change as we grow. When it comes to this past year, we have all shown our true colors by keeping our grades up, doing service hours, and staying active in parts of our community. Even through these tough times, we have persevered and continue to shape our identities. I am grateful to be in a room with people with such highly regarded character. Their determination is what pushes the rest of the class to be the best that they can be. One of the only things that I found that was positive that came out of the recent lockdowns and mayhem was that it allowed us to find ourselves in special ways through self-reflection. I urge all of you to continue exploring yourselves as we return to a sense of normalcy. Your character is never set, it is a fluid attribute. As a famous painter and icon, Bob Ross once said, "We don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents." Everything that happens in your life happens for a reason. It will help you mold you as a person as you continue to grow. Continue to build upon your character. Do not let anything hold you back.
That's my captain.
Thank you, Tucker. As you can tell from that little incident before, speaking isn't really my thing, but somehow I'm here talking about leadership, so thank you for that, Ms. T. I don't really want to stand up here and talk about how everyone's a leader in their own way, or about how there's a leader inside all of us that you just have to learn how to unlock. Instead, I'd like to spend these few minutes talking about what I do know, which is science. Evolutionarily speaking, most successful species fall into two categories, specialists and generalists. We are generalists. Humans are so successful because of our ability to adapt to different environments, situations, and problems. Cavemen went into the woods not knowing what or where the food was. They learned to survive in the rain, cold, and heat. But our advantage is changing. We now use specialists to do many essential tasks for us. I'm not saying we have koalas and Venus flytraps doing our bidding. I'm talking about how every single one of you now has a calculator in your bag and a computer in your pocket. These tools are taking away our ability to generalize, but in a positive way. Our ancestors thrived because they had dexterity, brains, and logical, cognitive skills all in one single package. Now there are machines that can do many of these things orders of magnitude better than we can. Computers can perform calculations and analyze data millions of times faster than we can. Robots can perform a single task thousands of times a second, 24/7, and will never get tired and will never mess up. But the one thing that we still have a leg up on is intuition. You are a specialist. Your most useful, effective trait is your mind. Your specialization is ideas, creativity, logic. And this is finally where leadership comes in. Seniors, as you go off to college, and juniors, as you apply and decide, remember that you are there because of your brain. Colleges don't choose you based on your ability to retain information. Hard drives do that better than you do. They want you for your ability to solve problems, to see what is new, to see what can be improved, to see the things that are not the way they should be. In the modern technologically advanced world, leaders are no longer those who are the strongest or even the smartest for that matter. Leaders are those who use their intuition to create change. Intuition is what modern humans still do better than any computer. Leading is our new specialty. Your mind gives you the amazing ability to ask why. Nothing else can do that. No hard drive, no calculator, no computer. You are all here because you are the best in the school at innovating, improving, and imagining. People will listen, understand, and support you because they believe in what you believe. Leaders aren't successful because of their what or their how, but because of their why. This is why Martin Luther King gave his I have a dream speech, not his I have a plan speech. 250,000 people came to the March on Washington. Not a single one was there for Martin Luther King. Each one was there for themselves because they believed in equality for all. Real leaders get us to follow, not for them, but for ourselves, because we ourselves believe in their why. You were selected for this organization because you ask why. Your mind is what gives you all leadership ability. You have the vision and the capacity to make lasting change that improves our world. Find your why. Thank you. Scholarship, service, leadership, and character are central to the mission of this honor society, and they are the reasons that each of you was selected to join us. Now moving on. Each year, NHS selects a teacher from the East Lyme High School faculty to speak at the induction ceremony. This year, we chose a teacher that both graduating seniors and current juniors had, someone who was loved for their humor, energy, and passion for teaching. He demonstrates the 4 pillars of NHS every day. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our faculty speaker, Mr. Hamilton Hernandez. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for providing me with the opportunity to speak today. I consider it a great honor to be asked to represent the faculty of East Lyme High School. I also notice that I'm being invited in first and perhaps only year the guest speaker might have been required to cover a portion of their face. I will try not to take it personally. I know that this ceremony takes place during a unique time in our school and nation's history. To those of you graduating in the near future, I am happy that you were able to have one of the experiences that was originally denied by the circumstances of the pandemic restored. To our new inductees, look to this group as an example of how, even in challenging times, we have seen it possible for students to demonstrate the 4 pillars of the National Honor Society. Difficult times reveal the character of people, and our soon-to-be graduates have demonstrated theirs by leading us through this year. After reflecting on the pillars of NHS, scholarship, leadership, service, and character, I know that the faculty of ELHS would agree with me in stating that this group has demonstrated these virtues many times over. Today, I would like to speak with you all about how your journey to be scholars and leaders, to be of service to your community, and to demonstrate your character will continue throughout your lives. On scholarship, all of you are exceptional students. At some point, there will be a shift in your life where you will no longer be considered a student, but instead are now a learner. Your ability to learn is not confined to the walls of a school or institution. It is only limited by your willingness to seek out new ideas and challenges that will allow you to grow. It can be easy to only seek to learn from those that have degrees higher than your own, but consider that many people without traditional school experiences can also introduce you to new and interesting perspectives. To that end, I think it is valuable to keep the words of the great philosopher Bill Nye the Science Guy in mind. Everyone you will ever meet knows something you don't. I know that I have personally learned something from many of the people half my age in this room. It is my hope that you all will continue to recognize that one of the greatest resources of learning available to us are the people with whom we surround ourselves. Leadership. All of you have shown yourself to be leaders in our community. I would ask you to remember the challenges of being new leaders. As you climb the ladders of your chosen fields and professions, it can be easy to forget what it was like to be a person at the start of their leadership journey. The frustration of being willing to lead but struggling to find the opportunities to develop those skills. Remember that leadership can be shared. Whatever team or organization you all join, it can be made stronger by developing those around you. Avoid viewing sharing leadership opportunities with others as creating challengers for your role. Instead, see it as strengthening your organization by overcoming obstacles together. Leadership does not mean that you must do everything on your own. I look around this room and see that it's full of leaders. Each person in this room has demonstrated the ability to lead in our school community, and I believe that our school remains strong by benefiting from you all sharing the many leadership roles our school provides. Service. I'm inspired by the examples you all set for being in service to our community. This pillar is very dear to me. My advice as you go through life is to reflect by asking yourself from time to time, are the people and organizations I join worthy of my time and commitment? I'm lucky. Every year I ask myself that question, and every year that I say yes, because I am blessed to have served you all as a teacher. And I serve with a faculty and administration that never wavers in starting the approach to every obstacle with the question, what's best for the kids? I have told whoever will listen to me that if I ever win the lottery, I wouldn't hesitate to continue to work here. I would just arrive to school in a nicer Prius. I hope that you all continue to search for the organizations and people that inspire you to serve something greater than yourself. Now more than ever, we need people like you all to look for opportunities to improve the world around you. I would like to leave you all with a question and a quote. Does anyone remember who was the 21st President of the United States? His name was Chester A. Arthur. And to those of you who might have thought my math skills would fail me, I haven't forgotten the 4th pillar, but I do believe we can all learn something about character from one story from Arthur's presidency. Most people don't know a lot about Chester Arthur. In fact, in a recent survey, Arthur tied with Franklin Pierce as the least memorable president. When people list their favorite presidents, Arthur's name is never mentioned. It should be noted that in national history surveys and in most recent C-SPAN survey, Arthur is never listed as one of the worst presidents. That might not seem like much, but it's a huge upset, only made possible by a person finding their character in the most challenging of circumstances. Chester A. Arthur became our 21st president as a result of a tragedy. He was vice president to James Garfield, who was tragically assassinated early in his first term by a man who believed he was owed a job in the United States government. When reporters went to Arthur's house to interview the new president, his doorkeeper refused to let them in because, in his words, Arthur was sobbing like a child with his head on his desk and his face buried in his hands. Arthur knew he wasn't ready for the presidency. His nomination for the vice presidency was a political favor, not because he had shown any aptitude for politics. Many of Arthur's contemporaries did not offer him support, but instead predicted he would be a failure. Some even went as far as to suggest he should refuse to accept the presidency. It was at this time in his life that Arthur received guidance from a person he didn't know existed. Julia Sands was a local New York woman who had never met Arthur, but wrote him letters encouraging him to recognize that he did have the character to lead the American people. She wrote him, telling him that emergencies, great emergencies, awaken generous traits which have lain dormant half a life. If there is a spark of true nobility in you, now is the occasion to let it shine. Arthur was inspired by these letters from a woman he didn't meet for another year. He found a sense of purpose and withstood harsh criticism to support legislation that would limit corruption in the United States government. He was so moved by the letter of Miss Sands that he kept them for the rest of his life and left them with his children. I found myself reminded of the story of Chester Arthur when preparing to speak with you all, because you share a similar challenge. It is often said, and true, that character is shown by what you do when no one is looking. However, with the advent of social media and the 24-hour news cycle, it is becoming increasingly difficult for people to act knowing that everyone is watching at all times. Many of you will find yourselves in a similar situation to President Arthur. You will be asked to perform challenging tasks and lead in a world that records every mistake. It is your strength of character that will see you through those challenges. As we welcome our new inductees, I would like to close by paraphrasing one of the messages Julia Sands used to inspire Chester Arthur. Your name is now in the annals of history. You cannot slink back into obscurity. It is for you to choose whether your record shall be written in black or in gold. For the sake of your country, for your own sake, and for the sakes of all who ever cared about you, let it be pure and bright. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hernandez, for those inspiring words. I'd like to ask all inductees, seniors, and juniors now to stand up so that we may recite the oath which can be found in your program. Please repeat after me. I pledge to uphold.
I pledge to uphold
The high purposes of the National Honor Society,
the high purposes of the National Honor Society,
to which I have been selected.
to which I have been selected.
I will be true to the principles for which it stands,
I will be true to the principles for which it stands,
and will maintain and encourage
and will maintain and encourage
high standards of scholarship, service, leadership, and character.
high standards of scholarship, service, leadership, and character.
Thank you and congratulations. Mr. Sheriff will now pass out certificates. As you hear your name called, please come up to the stage and accept it.
All right, guys, I'll be calling names. Mr. Kidd will be handing you your scholarship, or I'm sorry, your certificate. You guys, I'm going to start with the senior class, as you guys are the ones that are graduating first. I'm going to have you come up the stairs. You'll grab your certificate from Mr. Kidd, and you'll cross the stage and come back down and around. Okay, guys? And I'm going to start with Ella Aruste. Grace Barnhart. Nicole Virgin. Soleil Demars. ready? Caroline French. Brooklyn Gata. Ryan Goolsby. Catherine Harris. Zara Hassan. Lindsay Hadjic. Sarah Hodgson. Corinna Kong. Susesh Karumbal. Alyssa Lee. David Lee. Cora Lovedahl. Isabella Mazzi. Tucker Mazzulli. Aaron Munch. Jonathan Northcutt. Dylan Park. Cooper Pizzaglia. Amy Piper. Luke Proud. Skylar Preventure. Anjali Rana. Caroline Rio. Ella Rue. Spencer Stanley. Isabel Sutherland. George Ziampazi, Grace Long, Chelsea Weimer, Wesley Williamson, and Jessica Wood. Those are all of our senior inductees who did not get to have their ceremony last year, so congrats to you guys. Sorry for the delay. We're going to move on now to our junior inductees, who will be our National Honor Society members next year. You guys are going to cross from this side of the stage, grab your certificate from Mr. Kidd, and then go across and down, okay? Ratisha, Andy, Justin Burr, Sophia Canby, Sophia Ganell, Sarah Gilman, Jenny Gu, Ryan Huang, Abigail Jorgensen, Aditya Cabra, Jamie Kim, Alicia Lynn, Grace Liu, Allison Martin, Phelan Caffrey, Ethan Moore, Ethan Novak, Jesse Olofsky, Jenny Sherwood, Michaela Stahl, and Sachi Bora. I just want to close off with some final statements. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Hernandez for being our faculty speaker. He did an excellent job. I would also like to say that during my maternity leave, Mr. Hernandez is going to be taking over NHS, so you guys will have him as as your advisor for the first half of the year. I'd like to thank Mr. Kidd, who was the NHS advisor for, I believe, 10 years prior to me, and who did an excellent job and has been able to guide me and us throughout this process. So thank you, Mr. Kidd. I'd like to thank Mr. Place for filming for us today. We appreciate it. I want to thank my advisors, Sarah, Tucker, and George. You guys have been invaluable this year. You've done so much for all of us. Thank you. And lastly, I just want to thank everybody who participated this year who was a member of NHS. It was an unusually challenging year, and you guys really rose up and met that challenge. So give yourselves a round of applause.